than just racing.
Are you ready to unlock the door to your first home? Look no further than Mortgage Choice Ballarat. We understand buying your first home can be daunting, but with Mortgage Choice Ballarat by your side, it's smooth sailing all the way. Our experts will guide you through every step of the mortgage process. With access to a wide range of lenders and exclusive first-time buyer deals, we'll help find you a mortgage that fits you. Visit us today or give us a call to get started.
Now it's back to McDonald's BFNL action, thanks to our number one ticket holder, D2E Gym. From Delacombe to Windaree, you're never too far from a D2E. This is 3BA Football.
Good afternoon, welcome to 3BA Footy's Home Ground. Thanks to D2E Gym. From Delacombe to Windaree, you're never too far from a D2E. As we here at the Eastern Oval for round 2 action in the Ballarat Football Netball League, as it's East Point hosting the Darley Devils, the reigning premiers in season 2026. Sam Young, I'm Roger LeGrand, bringing all the action live. And thanks to One Life Insurance, our man Brett McGowan also joins us in the box. Sammy Treasure boundary side, as he always is, checking out ground conditions for us at the moment. But boys, a wonderful afternoon here at the Eastern Oval. It's been a big pre-game, Macca, but one thing that really stood out was just the openness of Dan Jordan, the coach, about his assessment of season 2025 and into 2026, but also
but it's because he's had this bet with Toby Green. So Zach Butters has been fined 22 times in the AFL, which is a lot, and Toby Green has about a similar number. So those two have got together and said, whoever gets fined first this season has to pay for 50 footies for the opponent's junior club. So effectively, Zach Butters, if this fine is upheld, he's going to have to pay for Toby Green's home club to have 50 footies, which I think is just really interesting stuff. Imagine those two having that conversation.
both Jacob Brown pre-game as well, who's a massive out for East Point this afternoon. But for the home side, one thing that was mentioned is that there's still a lot of young players that are coming to the forefront. Who else do your name jumps off the page today? Do you think, can make a difference?
Well, we were only here a couple of weeks ago, and we saw East Point in the first home and away game of the year. And on that day, they introduced young Jesse Marshall from Buninyong, who I thought got better as that day went on. Obviously, we've seen Sam Lucas slip into the side, come from the Hampton League, very good player, that gives them that little bit of back smash. Jesse Cairns didn't play. I wasn't at the game versus Sebastopol last week. Did Jesse go straight back into an on-ball role, did he, Sam?
He actually played a lot of his footy across half forward, and it seemed like he was in more of a managing minutes situation, but
players there, but obviously they've lost their full forward from last year, and in McDougall, so he's their leading goal kicker. Geordie Johnson kicked a lot of goals for them, so Brownie was going to be the person that was going to take that role. Without him there,
the Joyce brothers, and Jared was good again. I mean, Jared's only a relatively newcomer to the game of footy. We often forget that. Played tennis growing up and has only really played footy for, correct me if I'm wrong, Brad, 2 or 3 years. And there's a lot to like about him. He's got a lovely kick, strong overhead. We haven't seen Braden this year. He's in for the first time today, so a lot's going to fall on their shoulders, that's for sure.
Yeah, that's right. And probably the better weather will help those younger players, lighter bodies, be able to move in space a bit better. Jack Jeffrey obviously stood up, kicked 4 goals last week, so he's going to be important for them. They've named Luca Goy at full forward as well. He's an athletic kid who will be pretty good on the lead, be able to mark the ball. So, yeah, they've got some younger players, just that they're going to be playing like they're 18, 19, 20-year-olds with younger bodies. They're going to be matched up against 28-year-old centre-half backs and other key defenders. That's going to be tough for them.
Well, the key with Joyce last week as well is he kicked 1 goal 5 for the afternoon, for the evening, against the Bats. So generating 6 shots on goal is actually really positive. He gets his kicking boots on, kicks 5-1, 6 straight. Well, then you get that score sheet against the Bats looks a lot better on the scoreboard if he's accurate in front of the big sticks.
Will Johnson, so Will not a tall man by any stretch, but not short either. He's probably that, the 5'11", 6 foot kind of third tall traditionally, but probably plays more that full forward type of role for Darley. Yeah. Who's your matchup from an East Point point of view, Macca?
Well, I think Liam Howard did some work on him last time, didn't they? I mean, you got Jackson Merritt down there, but he'll be running around freely off half-back, so probably Liam Howard, although...
Sam Lucas has got some size, maybe.
Yeah, and then Liam Howard might be too tall. Maybe Liam Howard is sort of a third tall coming off and intercepting. Maybe Sammy Q.
I'll be going Howard personally. It was up to me in the defensive coaching box. But one person I want to talk about his footage and tape during the week, Brad McGowan. What do you think? First of all, seeing him A in black and white, but B in his role in this Devils team.
Yeah, so Lockie George has had a significant football history in the BFL and in the VFL. He's a very good. I was lucky enough to coach him as midfield coach in the VFL. He was a very good VFL player. He's so good at winning contested ball, particularly at centre bounces. And Darley did throw him in late in centre bounces last week, and he was pretty good. Georgie only came to decide to play. He basically finished up at Redan. He did have a bit of a falling out with some of the Redan people by the end of it, and so eventually gave it away at Redan and decided that he wasn't going to play footy, but then, as we know, played some VFL footy with Billy Myers and some of the other boys there, so decided to go and have a run with them, and we can see him doing the warm-up in the forward group here right in front of us. He'll be a player that he's so skillful as well, so he'll probably spend, I'd say, 80% of the time at mid-forward. You'll probably see him get 2 or 3 shots at goal and set up other people. He's like that Pendlebury type player that can just find space and the game slows down and he uses the ball well. Plus, he'll use that strength as an inside mid at times, but I think Lockie would agree he's not at full fitness yet. He's only just decided to play with Darley in the last month or so he hasn't really done a full pre-season.
He'll also probably take all forward 50 ruck stoppages as well, which helps sort of, use that bigger frame. He loves to, take it out of the air and be a bit of a nuisance there. So I think he likes to, mention these a bit. He does a bit of ruck work, gets a few hit outs. So I think that's feeds the ego a bit. But one man has no issues about feeding the ego is our man Sam Treasure. He's down Boundary side checking out ground conditions. How's it down there at the Eastern Oval, Sammy?
Gents, just as you said, it's a wonderful day down here. We're bathed in sunshine at the Eastern Oval. There's really no wind, or at least none that I think is going to play. And I will mention the UV is actually 5, so for the fair skins, including myself, sunscreen might be an option today.
Yeah, I'm a bit worried about getting burnt through the window coming through here. It's that nice and warm, and compared to what we had last week, Sammy, I'm actually happy with the change in conditions. Beautiful afternoon here at the Eastern Oval. We'll get to you in a moment for the coin toss and your prediction, but getting back to the side selected, Brad, what's your observation on this one?
Well, just another one on Darley is that Darley do like to mark the ball. They had 109 marks last week, 86 uncontested marks. That's a lot of marks. Anytime you're over 100, that's a lot. They're 20 more than any other team at the moment. So you'll look to see Darley. They're not a high handball team. They're a kick and mark team. So they will kick and mark the ball down the ground. They'll use the the wide open spaces. The weather will help. So East Point do need to try and limit their uncontested marks. If we see Darley get hold of the footy at the stoppages, and we think that with that superstar midfield, with guys like Bewley, Baker, Hind, then they can kick a mark, then East Point are going to find that very hard. So East Point do need to try and limit their marking as much as they can and try and get hold of the ball from the middle.
Sammy Treasury will keep an eye on that coin toss. Who's kicking which way?
Yes, Darley are going to kick to the Peel straight end. Brett Bewley won the toss.
And a prediction from you today, young man?
I think it's got to be Darley by 40 plus today, gents. I just haven't seen enough from East Point yet. And we know Darley's midfield, Baker, Bewley and Hind are so dominant.
Roger LeGrand, your thoughts on the outcome this afternoon? Who wins it and why on a margin?
Yeah, I think Darley comfortably won't put a margin on it. I think from my point of view, what I'm looking to see is that growth from East Point. So obviously, you've seen them both weeks this year, Youngie. I've seen them round one. I'm looking just for improvement from week to week from them, understanding that Jacob Brown's out, which is a significant out. But I want to see, I'd like to see them keep it under that 40 points that Sam Treasure just spoke about.
Your thoughts, Brad McGowan?
I would have thought Darley would be favourite by 10 goals. So, yeah, if East can keep it under 40, that would be a good result.
I'm with you on that exact sort of margin as well, Brad McGowan. And what I want to see from Joe Carmody this week, as I've been a little bit critical, with the magnet moves the last couple of weeks and maybe not sticking to the game plan. I would like to see if he's going to make a structural move that he holds up for 4 quarters. So if that's like Fraser in the ruck, he does that for 4 quarters. If it's someone behind the foot, he does that for 4 quarters instead of just chopping and changing constantly. I think the best way for them to get growth is to stick with the plan. And at the end of the day, it might be a little bit of pain in the interim, but the long-term success of that will be more beneficial than the chop and change nature that has been the last few weeks on the magnet front. As the players are making their way into positions. Great to see Mickey Edwards out there. Of course, heartbreak for him in season 2025. Missed the grand final for Darley. Missed round 1 with an eye injury.
Such a good player, though. Like, if he's missing out in your grand final side, they're a pretty strong unit, aren't they?
Yeah, he's done a VFL pre-season as well. And he's ready to straight stuff in black and white. So looking forward to seeing what he can do.
He's a former Premier First cricketer as well.
Yeah, very
Northcote, so very handy left arm gas, I've read.
Yes, look out.
Absolute bang on the money there, Sam Treasure. Don't worry about that. As players are in position,
Lucas next year.
Maybe. We'll do some work. As the players have made their way into position here, we're ready to go.
So Billy Myers has gone to centre half back, as we thought he might do.
Looks like Fraser Kelly's got the direct matchup at the moment, whether that's intentional or just Myers doing what Myers does and making that back 50 zone. We're ready to go here on 3BA Footy Zone. Going here is Roger LeGrand.
Thank you, Sam. Play underway, and Tanner wins the hit out, but Tom Brown in his first game for East Point Sharks, he kicks it forward, and guess who? You can tell by Sam Young's reaction, it's that man, Billy Myers, straight away into the intercept game. Takes that mark, kicks it into the middle of the ground, and finds a teammate in. It's Bewley. He goes forward now towards half forward, and strong mark taken by Will Johnson. He kind of came from a third tall kind of position there, and he's marked at about 45 metres from goal, Sam Young.
Yeah, directly in front, distance right on his range, but early, fresh legs that shouldn't have an issue, but good start straight in the middle, Brad.
And it's exactly what Darley want to do, don't we? We thought that East Point might just bomb it out of a stoppage. They did that. They get the mark, and then Johnson's just so fast on the lead. Hit up and mark this ball.
Yeah, kicked the winner last week to kick the first one in the opening minute here in round 2 action in the Ballarat Footy League at the Eastern Oval. Johnson right in the paint, strikes it well, holds its line, no, clips inside of the post. An extra code advantage maybe cost him. As first score on the Metro scoreboard has gone the way of Darley. It's just the one behind as East Point move it quickly. He's going up McGuire with a short ball and a patient build up. This is what East Point need to do, I think, a little bit more. It's just control the footy in hand. Take the uncontested marks. So chip down the line, marks taken by Howard on half back, and he'll look to load up down the line. Piercing ball. Retirement owners could take the mark. Crumb was still good by the Kangas as they thump it inside 50. Slater a 1-1, caught from behind, forced to spoil, brings it to the ground. Coming through there was Jeffrey. Ricochets back into the car. Off the Kelly. Opening shot on goal for him is near side.
Oh, that was good ball movement, wasn't it? And they got a good shot on goal. Kelly should have kicked that. He's 25 metres out directly in front. Well done by East Point to get it, at least get it to ground inside 450. They were outnumbered. They brought it to ground, and then their smalls came into the game.
Geordie Slater starting at full forward today. So he did a bit of the back and forward. trying him out as the kick out from Myers comes to White. Handles over to Hind. Hind outside defensive 50 now, up the wing. Jeffrey found himself in front but lost it. Ball came to Graham McDonald, goes in hard for East Point. The umpire calls in. It'll be a ball up about 60 metres from the East Point goal. That ruck contest goes forward now in the direction of Joyce, but strong mark taken overhead from Darley by Lahure, and he'll take the kick around 20 metres from the East Point goal.
So Lahure will go with the short measured ball. It wasn't 15 metres, so Cadman will have to play on immediately. Clears defence 50 with the high ball towards centre wing on the broadcast side. Big spell by Brown of East Point brings to the ground, but Jack Bewley was waiting for it. Dragged off, got the handle away just in time before being pinned. Ball in dispute. Duncan Cadman throws his way around, unable to gather the footy initially. Edwards, handball inside, found its target, and run down from behind. Well, the Devils' pressure's great here from East Point to start. As they look to measure the pass in the Rotoma Owners direction, he's got it. Nicker plays on, assesses his option, a little depth kick to centre half forward's a good one. Finds Kelly, 65 from goal. As he ignores the initial lead by Joyce. Now we call the play on. Sells a bit of full candy to see you later. Sends the high ball towards full forward. This has got Joyce's name on it. High fly could take the mark. Crumb, Slater, left foot snap. Near side.
A wonderful build-up by East Point. That was Luca Goy that did that run-down tackle, and he does have that good foot speed. Again, they're just getting the ball to ground. Their Crummers are running onto it, getting their shots on goal.
Myers wastes no time getting that as a plays on quickly now, goes wide out to the ring. He's got plenty of time. Tried to pick it up, did Edwards, that man we spoke about earlier. It was good enough and smart enough to pick it up. Kick was poor though, turned over. East Point getting numbers back. MRO lays a strong tackle. And the umpire looks like he's going to... No, ball comes out. He was going to play holding the ball there. And East Point have actually won their clearance in the end. Kick goes long to half forward in the way of Joyce. Was he pushed? No. Myers cleans up as he always does for Darley and kicks across the back half of the ground.
Founds Garner, a true half back. He's overcooked the kick in the as a party direction. Coming through was clever, gets around that side, bit of candy. Will favour Darley. It's an half back as they come away with it. Sweeping ball by White. Will find its way to looks right, assesses his option. Always had Cadman as the outlet on true centre wing and use them. The Devils will build it from centre wing now. Measured pass inboard. Finds Edwards, 70 from goal. Loads up for home with a long left foot kick towards full forward. The mark is taken deep inside forward 50.
Nick Hind, I think it is.
Plays on does Hind and snaps truly. First goal of the day goes the way of the Devils, and on the Metro scoreboard 1-1-7. They lead East Point 2 behinds.
Just textbook Darley there. Their defence has been so rock solid. Lahure, Billy Myers, etc., able to intercept or at least get the ball to ground in this area. And then when they move the ball, they're not looking up and bombing long. They are always hitting a target 30, 40 metres, lowering their eyes and hitting them. And that time, what's generally happened is they've been caught at half forward, mucking around with it, trying to lower their eyes. This time they decided, we're going to go long, get to the goal square and Hind find space. Whereas East Point, on the other hand, one quick handball, then look up and kick long to a contest each time. So it's a really different style of play. Darley just finding the better of the two at the moment.
So the margin is 5 points in favour of Darley on the Metro scoreboard here at the Eastern Oval this afternoon. Tanner up against Brown in the ruck. And Brown won the hit out in East Point's favour, but as he often does, Bewley Sharks came back in the direction of Freeman. Fumbled, perhaps should have picked up. Matricardi went in hard, was tackled. Ball went to ground, the umpire says, I will ball the ball up. Dodd comes up with the footy for East Point. Ball up will take place just in front of the coach's box, near that big tree at the Eastern Oval, if you can picture that listening at home. Brown won the hit out again, and he's got some ruck dominance early, which is good for East Point. George went in for Darley, wasn't able to pick it up. Ball came back to Luther Baker, gave a handball off to Azapati, went forward over, kicked it, mark taken by East Point.
So Q with it, defensive side centre wing, can just hold things up. Had an option in the corridor, ignored it, and it's probably going to go safely down the line. MRO, been busy early. Mika, retirement owners, takes the mark on centre wing on the outside of the ground from our broadcast position. Plays on, assess these options, high ball towards half forward. Joyce will arrive late. Well, the one hand can take the mark. The follow-up was good, bounced up nicely, caught in the tackle blow by Lahure, and a ball up to the most exciting young players in the competition at either end there, in Jared Joyce and Zane Lahure going head-to-head. Will be a fun matchup, thanks to One Life Insurance. Brad McGowan to keep an eye on.
Yeah, and I've also just been really impressed by East Point's work at the fall of the ball at half-forward line. Their crummers, they know they're not going to necessarily outmark it, so they're getting to the crumb well.
Merritt won the ground ball, handballed it over to McDonald, kicks along on that left foot, long towards full forward. Myers gets back and, well, we're going to run out of pens here if we keep counting his marks. He's taken a 3 or 4 already. He plays on quickly, gets it out in the direction of Joel Cadman, comes short, finds a teammate for Hatcher over to Azapati. So Azapati's in the back line of the centre square now, goes inboard dangerously. Fortunately, Matricati was up to the task and Darley are able to clear.
So Darley goes towards the outer side now, able to make it work. Freeman spearing past down the line, missed its initial target, good enough to keep it alive, and moving forward was Younger. Chain of hand pass works towards half forward, and in the end good pressure, and that's what's been, I think, a big improvement from East Point this week, Brad McGowan, is they're going to hold it up at half back.
Yeah, that's right. The half back line has been really good. They've been able to man up, and their midfield are getting there and putting good pressure on, so Darley's struggling to get it through that area.
Yeah, pressing up to the ball carrier and making it difficult for them to chain it to the likes of Bewley and Hine through hand, as well as Brown one down the ruck, but straight down to the turf. We'll get another ball up from the restart.
He's been good in the ruck, Brown.
He has absolutely had dominance early. He's jumping very high in his welcome back game for East Point. He played here a few years ago, then went back out to his home club, as you call it, in Hepburn, and now finds his way back to East Point. The umpire comes in meanwhile and will throw the ball up. So question for you, Brad McGowan, around this early dominance, and we spoke about it pre-game with Billy Myers. There's no defensive forward that we can see. Surely Joe's got to make a move, Joe Carmody that is, very soon.
Yeah, well, Billy Myers has gone to Fraser Kelly, and Fraser Kelly for East Point, but he's about 25 metres from goal each time, so Billy Myers is dropping off him each time. It's too easy. Fraser's got to go back and actually play on Billy and let Billy set the starting position, because Billy will know that the kick's going to go 50 metres. So it's going over his head each time at the moment. He's got to go back onto Billy.
East Point won a free kick from that stoppage of transited towards the broadcast side of the ground, the high ball in the direction there of Cairns. Throw, those going to go against Densley of Darley, and it'll go the way of Cairns. It was the tackle. A quick ball, Slater. We started right up forward this week. Will now be called the play on. Bumping inside 50 in the direction of Brown, who's worked very hard to provide an option, but a good spoil by Tanner. We'll see it out in the pocket.
It's just a different matchup, those two, Tom Brown and Javen Tanner. They're generally, like ruckmen are generally larger, bigger body players. These guys are two really athletic, tall guys that are jumping at the ball each time. There's none of the usual wrestling, which has been fantastic to watch.
So the ball to be thrown in front of the deck here at the Eastern Oval. Joyce doing the ruck work for East Point. Cairns nearly had it, got it in the end. Was he taken high? The umpire says no. Densley gets the hurried kick away for Darley. And they're good enough to clear once again, this time through Matricati. Goes in the direction of Azapati out on the wing. A foot races on him and Williams. Azapati was taken high. Umpire agreed it'll be a free kick, and a little bit of a scuffle afterwards, Sam Young.
Yeah, definitely a bit of push and shove, and the feelings being up, and East Point up to the contest, but free kick by the way of the Devils, and Azapati, measured 15-metre pass, will find its target. Looks for the 1-2, which was superb with Younger, and goes inside 50 in the Johnson direction at his feet, but the Mercurial one gets it around the body, heads to home with the top of the square kick. Ball hits the turf. Where are the crummers? It is Darley, but it's touched off the boot. Coming through was Younger. His kick was partially smothered, went through for a minor, and the Devils moved to 1-2-8 on the Metro scoreboard. East Point trail just the two behinds after 11 and a half minutes of football in the opening term.
They do look dangerous, Darley, when they can get in behind that East Point half-back line. East Point's half-back line has been fantastic, but when Darley can get through that and they have their players running back towards goal, they do look likely to score.
The D2E Gyms from Delacombe to Wendouree. You're never too far from a D2E. Play East Point slow and steady out of defence. This time it's Howard, kicks long up centre wing. Lahure gains front position and knocks the ball over the line. So Slow going out of defence, Brad McGowan early for East Point, just slow and steady, not trying to hurry the ball out.
Yeah, and they certainly don't look to take many risks. They're going wide, but that's probably pretty good for a young side. Just can limit the scores against early on.
Back on the lane, centre wing on the outside. I'll give points to Tanner this time with the knockdown. Baker, unable to gather. Retirement Owners has no problems getting the clearance as he sends it inside forward 50. Hacked off the deck there by Jeffrey, but coming away with it is Myers. Sweeping hand pass was good by the Darley as a party takes a bounce on centre wing on the broadcast side.
Speed.
And now a second bounce, but he ran too far. Get back on the tape with that one. He's saying it was 14.9. Umpires had 15.1 steps.
So he took one bounce and then he was pinged after the second bounce.
I
was he?
reckon he wouldn't have even run 10.
So Marshall will get the hand pass off the cue. He'll go to half forward with a right foot kick. Jeffrey in front. Had it fisted away legally by Garner. Brett at ground level. Almost made a meal of it, but good enough to get it back towards Garner. His ball inboard might be a turnover. Opportunity here, but he's got me right down from behind. Unfortunately, he got the handball just in time. And Kettler Jones is seen out of bounds. We'll get the ball in. Hiscock, who was good last week in the loss against Sebastopol, couldn't believe his luck running in try on goal and was a bit too slow in game 13 and was lucky to get away with it.
He was unable to. He had teammates beside him. He just could have given the quick hands. Didn't feel the pressure and unfortunately run down.
Joyce tried to grab it out of the ruck. MRO barges his way through, but beautifully smothered by Lahure, and it'll be another stoppage, I think, ball up 20 metres out from goal.
Oh, what a machine MRO was there. Just a big beast charging through the stoppage, knocking Darley players left and right. He's a dangerous man on the move, MRO.
He looks like a man playing with an absolute mission today at clearance. Here with the target again by the Joyce tap. He gets it away. Having to slap to his own advantage was Hiscock as he hacks off the deck and it just pitched in the side of the field to play. Maybe some ironic appeals for insufficient attempt that will get a boundary throwing deep in the the right forward pocket for East Point.
MRO, hands on his knees. That's taken a bit out of him those last two goes.
And just quickly for One Life Insurance, and noticing that East Point seem to have a spare behind the footy, Macca, one to keep an eye out.
Yeah, that's right, particularly inside 50 here because their forward takes the ruck.
Shallow throw and Joyce trying to take it out of the air and use that advantage. Slipped from his grasp. Slater forced him now to do the role of tackling and we'll get a ball up 25 out from goal.
Yeah, so Joyce the forward takes the ruck, which means then that Brown could drop back spare behind the ball.
Doing the old traditional ruck. Yeah, and one kick behind the play. We'll go again inside 50. Tanner and Joyce, two good athletes. Baker, four-time premiership player, will get the clearance. Here's Edwards, who just keeps it alive and off hands and out of bounds, so no lasso free kick on that one.
You love the lasso, don't you, Sam?
Oh, just saying, I'm a bit of a fan of the rule. It's helping the game.
You like the dance of the song.
Yeah,
the
he
signal
does,
more than
exactly,
anything.
Brad. He does it every time, in concert with the boundary umpire.
Sammy Treasure loves it just as much as me.
Ball back into play. Fraser did the ruck for East Point, but Bewley good enough to win the sharking, the clearance, and the ball goes long up to half forward. Mark taken by Lockie George. He plays on quickly, but his kick is a poor one, and Howard able to get back for East Point and take a strong mark overhead. He comes out towards the Bowls Club side of the ground. It misses its target. You might get your chance here with that lasso. No, Williams is up to the task. He
Good
goes
speed.
long towards half forward, but you may as well take the menu out to him a quarter time, Sam Treasure, because if Billy Myers is the early favourite for the Sporting Globe Player of the Day.
Fantastic intercept mark by Myers again.
High ball down the line by Myers, and Bewley's going to be paid the mark free kick either way.
It was on Joyce that time. That wasn't Joyce's fault. It was just a poor kick. Went straight to Myers.
So Brett Bewley will load up and send one inside 50 with that booming left foot kick. This time's ill-directed. Probably should be marked by Joyce of the Braden variety, but just let it slip through his grasp. We'll get a stoppage inside forward 50 as we're approaching time on.
He got the sun in his eyes there, Sammy. He tried to put the shield up, but no good.
Well, beautiful ground here and plenty of trees around the Eastern Oval, but the weather causing havoc. Hind, little dance step, look left, look right, retreated back. Put his team under all sorts of pressure, and that East Point tackling pressure continues. The ball trickles towards the boundary line inside 50 for the Devils. They keep it alive. Quick kick forward will come from Matt Riccardi towards the top of the square. Almost a mark taken by Johnson backing back. Ball spills out. East Point survive. Wobbly clearing kick might come back with interest. Gardner waiting on the arc of the 50. Handball off. Found Freeman. Little spear pass. Was it quite 15? Yes, it was. Finds his target. Mark taken. And shot and goal coming up for... Looks like inside forward 50 there. It's Lockie George.
Good composure by Gardner in the end. He was under pressure, able to get around the tackler. Lockie George just yelling right in front of his eyesight. Most people would have bombed that to the top of the square. Georgie Marks will get a shot on goal.
So hasn't kicked a goal for Darley yet, albeit his second game. Lockie George goes back and he looks to have faded that one over the left-hand side through from behind. So on the Metro scoreboard, Darley 139, East Point 2 behind. Low scoring first quarter. We've played around 17 minutes on the Metro scoreboard as Jackson Merritt, as he often does, looks to bring the ball back into play, and this time he elects to play on. Goes out that Bowls Club side again, which seems to be the choice for East Point here early, and they've got the ball out very quickly, this time through Lucas, kicks the ball up the wing, missed Joe Fraser the target, ball went back in the direction of Willems, kick was smothered, McDonald did the cleaning up for East Point, when that left foot, and it's a good one, finds Marshall, true centre half forward position, looking to play on quickly, hasn't got much in front of him, in the end elects to go the way of Slater, and finds him. Geordie Slater takes the mark about 35 metres from goal.
Now, I don't know how much footy Geordie Slater's played in front of the footy there, but I watched his leading patterns there, Brad McGowan, and you would have loved to see that you were forwards coach there from a defender.
Yeah, that's right. He did the tick lead, went up, and then came back towards the footy, and the kick by Marshall as well. I'd heard he's a new recruit this season from Buninyong. Nice outside mid left footing kick, perfect pass, and hey, if he kicks this goal, they're right back in this game.
Only 7 goals in 54 games, majority of them, of course, behind the footy. Kick 1 point already has Geordie Slater. Right foot kick is on its way, and geez, I reckon he might be a forward.
Oh,
Geordie Slater gets East Point's first one of the day. They're 1-2-8 on the Metro scoreboard. Darley lead 1-3-9.
Even though we've said that the game has looked pretty much like Darley would like, and that Billy Myers, etc., have been setting up across half back, East Point have been doing the same across their half back line. They've been limiting Darley's scores. Darley have had more opportunities to score, but East Point would be very happy at this stage. They're finding ways to get the ball in their forward half, and yeah, now only trailed by 1 point just before quarter time.
Great game of footy to start here at the Eastern Oval. And in round 2 action of the Ballarat Footy League, thanks to number 1 ticket holder D2E Gyms from Delacombe to Wendouree. You're never too far from a D2E. We're off and running again. Brown will get the tap. Opportunity for MRO to go to work. Handball came from Darley in the direction of Hind. Turns on the afterburners. Right foot kick will go inside 50. Looking for Johnson. Couldn't quite hang on. Did the work early. Just couldn't complete the mark. At ground level, Hatcher tried to break through from a tackle. Umpire said no high contact, no free kick. We'll get a ball up 20 from goal.
Sam Treasure, we'll just get you to keep an eye on MRO there for East Point. He had a head knock with Joel Cadman at that clearance. Both of them have stayed on their feet, but they're not looking great, either of them.
So ball thrown back up into play. Ball hits towards the boundary line. It'll be out of bounds. And quickly for Go Vita before, sorry, Sammy. The early score, some other grounds. North Ballarat leading Bacchus Marsh by 5 points. 10-point lead to Sunbury. Ballarat and Sabas. It's a 5-point lead to Sabas. That game being played at City Oval. Thanks to Go Vita, your local health store this afternoon, as ball comes back into play. East Point with numbers back. Strong tackle late on Willems. Wasn't able to get it. Shark by Luther Baker. Went onto that left boot, but he seems to have missed everything and it's gone out of bounds.
Yes, just wedged in front of the line, so of course in between the arcs. Only the Lasso free kick we paid. Inside 50 is fine, so we'll get a stoppage. Deep inside 50 for the Devils to go to work. Ball in will be at 20 metres or so from goal. Looks like Lemar McGuan doing some ruck work and winning it down for East Point. Clearing kick might come back with an interest. Hind through traffic, got boots the ball when many probably couldn't. Ball live, opportunity here around the body. Left foot snap coming from Edwards. Had to turn it on the Fleetwood step to get back around to that left side, but he's missed all on sundry and sent it out on the full. So missed opportunity for Darley, but a little bit wasteful start here.
Ball comes back into play. Big fly, and it's going to be an early jump. It's going to go against Mitchell Gardner. It's going to go the way of East Point. It looks like Kelly's going to take that free kick for East Point. He goes backwards now, just electing to control the footy. Merritt plays on, comes up the wing in front of the East Point coach's box. Strong mark overhead from Geordie Slater. Sam Young made the early call that he might just be a forward, and he plays on quickly, goes inside 50. Pack will fly. Darley with the numbers back. Good spoil. Oh, they're back off the ground. Comes back to Joyce. Hiscock. Did it clip the post?
What a goal.
We don't have it. Umpire says no, and Hiscock has a goal for East Point. It's their second for the afternoon. And just waiting for that scoreboard to tick over so I can give you the Metro score. It was Dylan Hiscock on that right boot. A little snap in it. Rolled and it turned and it bounced sideways, Brad McGowan.
Yeah, they were able to move it quickly in the end. Like East Point could have switched the ball. Instead, they decided to go down the line, and it got through the big pack of players. And then eventually, East Point were able to kick it in forward quickly. East Point actually had 3 players run onto the ball, all goal side. He could have run right to the goal line, but he tried the old Peter Dacos check side, and it rolled beautifully through the middle. If he had missed it, Coach Joe Carmody would have been ropeable because he could have raffled it and walked into the goal. But really good goal to East Point, and they're in front.
2-2-14 on the Metro scoreboard. Lead Darley 1-3-9. Back underway in the middle of Eastern Oval. Handball by Azapati inside. Found the ruckman and Tanner from a stationary start. His kick had to be good and was. Found Hind will be off to the races. Right foot kick will go towards full forward. Right to the top of the square. Brought the ground by the East Point defence in Howard. Alive in there. Coming away is Dodd. Measured left foot pass will find his target. Good composure coming out of the back line once again shown by East Point. Ball down the line should find Hiscock. Last goal kicker in this game. 22.5 minutes gone in the opening term. He'll come around to his right side. Right foot kick will go in the Joyce direction. Getting in front there was Lahure being a nuisance. Coming through nicely there was Gardner to get it off to Zane Lahure, who just dumps a long one down the line into space more than anything. Bouncing ball in front of George. He slapped it to his own advantage. We'll have 2 to beat. Little blind turn with superb handball off to Densley. Found him in some space. Right foot kick was dribbling towards centre forward. Hind kept in front of himself. Goes inside to the corridor. Found Hatcher off to Edwards. Sees the goals. Likes the goals. Didn't get a great strike of the Sharon. And it wobbles through for a minor score.
They're doing a good job on Nick Hind. He's so fast when he gets the ball. He's trying to create with his feet and break it open with that speed. But East Point have been up to the challenge and been able to limit his influence at the moment.
Sam Q very slow to get up after that last contest. We'll get an update from Sam Treasure shortly. Got up holding his head. Hopefully he's okay. Kenny won the kick for East Point forward. But there is no one past the half-forward line for East Point. So it's kind of got to open space. And Darley were quick enough to get back. And it'll be a ball up in the end. That man getting to his feet once again is the man who has dominated this first quarter, Lahure. He's been very impressive down back and had plenty of the footy as umpire Brown comes in, throws the ball up. Tanner couldn't pick the ball up cleanly. Handball came from Cairns. Long kick from Brown into the forward line. Myers gets back, punched it straight into the arms of Braden Joyce, who dribbled along the ground.
What a goal again.
Goal to East Point, and they have their 3rd this afternoon. What a ripper, Brad McGowan.
Well, 2 Darley players spoiled each other then, wasn't it? Billy Myers came over in front of his teammate and spoiled the ball. His teammate would have actually marked it, but unfortunately the spoil went straight to Joyce, as you said. Pretty much a carbon copy of what happened last time. It fell to the East Point players, had numbers the offensive side. They've just looked better in the last 5 minutes because they've been lowering their eyes a little bit at half forward, East Point, and getting marks up around the 50 instead of bombing it long and high. If they bomb it long and high, that's where Myers has an influence. If it's flatter and shorter, then Myers isn't having as much of an influence.
Great start here for the Kangas on their home turf. Darley kicked the first, East Point have kicked the last 3. Hacked up the deck forward, MRO resting forward, takes the mark of Truce now forward. They're not done left. Right foot kick, look at Joyce! Couldn't take the mark at full stretch. Well played by Lahure, just get that spoil in, brings it to the ground. Garner off the Myers.
Joyce hurt behind.
Dangerous one, read the Hughes nice. Play by Azapati initially, but they got free. They wriggled free towards full forward. Slater!
He's dominating Slater at full forward. He's looking
75 from goal. Will play on. Look to go towards Biggie Newen. And he'll get Biggie Newen! Well called, thanks to One Life Insurance there.
That in danger. Stevens broke the tackle of Joel Cadman and sent them all into a tackle, a one-on-one. Scanlon, Cousins, bouncy ball is enough. Some separation, Sunbury.
She'll be the recipient of the free kick. Probably should have been called out of bounds because he came in and stepped out, but the umpire called play on. Oh! Back from Granger Barras. What a mark!
Yeah, straight away by Joyce. Got moved to the ball, right to the line. Off there goes Brown. That's soccer skills. The opening goal of the game will go the way of the Kangas and will go away their sharpshooter and Jacob Brown.
VM Polsky grabbed it out of the ruck. Somehow got boot to ball. Bueling ran away, went long and forward in the Johnson direction. Got it! Back for Sunbury if he can restore the lead and kick this all-important goal. Time on, Johnson, goal! Darley in front. Oh, please, can you believe it?
Every quote and booking. Call 0409005227 for a free no obligation quote. Call Rapid Tree Solutions today.
Looking for the ultimate night's sleep? Cool fill 58% off the entire in-stock Tempur-Breeze range. Only at Harvey Norman Ballarat. Hurry while stocks last. Ballarat's 3BA, covering the McDonald's Ballarat Football Netball League. Live.
Finds Edwards, 70 from goal. Loads up for home with a long left foot kick towards full forward. The mark is taken deep inside forward 50.
Kind, I think it is.
Plays on, does to D3 Jim from you never two from a D2E. We're at quarter time on the Metro score with East Point leading the reigning premiers 4-2-26 over Darley's 1-5-11, and thanks to One Life Insurance. Here's Brad McGowan's thoughts of the opening term.
Well, East Point have been fantastic, particularly in the second sort of half of that quarter. They really started to get on top with their ball movement through the middle of the ground, and they could eventually stop just bombing or fear. Also because their full forward, Will Johnson, as you mentioned earlier, Roger, is a smaller player, so they're not wanting to bomb to him. So they need to sort of change angles and try and use hit-ups. I reckon if I was Dan Jordan, well, one, he'd probably like to put himself at full forward, but they need to get someone at full forward. Maybe it's even Billy Myers goes to full forward. They need a big, tall target to bomb the ball to, because at the moment, they don't look confident enough to kick it there.
Yeah, for me, I mean, they get smashed in the ruck. Tommy Brown had a great opening term.
Yep.
I'll be sending Tanner forward, Myers into the ruck. That's like your one wood, I reckon.
Yeah.
Start
+2 clearance for Darley, +1 in tackles, and +4 inside 50s, as well as +1 of marks and tackles inside 50s as well. So they're winning on the stat sheet, but Dan Jordan, he just said there's just some little things. Composure moving forward has to be a little bit better. He mentioned not to blaze away because East Point are playing that spare, so just have to think about it a bit more. He wants more connection between the teammates and to trust them, but overall he did say he's happy with the game. It's just some little things.
Thank you very much, Sam Treasure. We're actually located down the bottom end of the Eastern Oval if you're listening at home or in the car. Sort of times Darley seemed to get in and win the clearance, but this time Merritt's able to lay a strong tackle and East Point a winner free kick for holding the ball. Merritt plays on quickly, kicks long towards half forward, slightly off target. McGuan was able to get in there. Was that a holding free kick to East Point? Umpire said no. Ball goes to ground. Looks like it's going to be a ball up. Right on the boundary line in front of the light tower where the cricket nets are at the Eastern Oval.
Merritt actually starting that second term in the middle, which is not something he does as much. Of course, was a midfielder at the AFL level, so knows what he's doing around that part of the ground. Gardner's got to be clean. Got it behind. Handball off inside was good. Exit through Baker for the Devils. Off there. Fraser, high ball towards the half-forward flank. Brought to ground by the Devils' defence initially. Waiting for it nicely was as a party. We ran into a bit of trouble and it didn't cleanly dispose of it. Gone. Holding the ball. Free kick again will go the way of East Point. Handball side was a bit too hot for Rotoma Onus. Made a bit of a meal of that one with the Joyce winning the free kick. Go quickly to Rotoma Onus, but he left it behind and we'll get a stoppage at half-forward.
So Brett McGowan, that forward set up for
50 as the ball is on the half-back flank for Darley.
It's going to be a repeat stoppage. A little bit closer to the East Point goal, around the 50-metre mark. Ball thrown in the air. Tanner probably won that out for Darley, but didn't go to advantage. Ball went to ground. Strong tackle laid by Hine. Umpire said no prior opportunity. It will be a ball up. So around 50 metres from goal at the Peel Street end of the ground here at Eastern Oval. If you've just joined us, East Point 4-2-26, leading Darley 1-5-11 on the Metro scoreboard. The umpires found a free kick out of that ruck contest, and it looks like it's going to be Rotoma Onus. Going to take a decent kick from there, Brad.
Yeah, he loves to be at the bottom of the pack, MRO, and has won that free kick. But he is, what would you say, the man on the mark would be just inside the paint's hard to see because they're on that far side. Sammy T, you might be able to see better. Is this a 55-metre shot or 45 or something like that?
Oh, I reckon he'll kick from about the paint of 50, Macca.
So that's right on MRO's limit. He's face won't register a score. Ball's alive in the pocket. Cans. Keep it alive and out of bounds it goes. So we'll get now a ball in deep inside 50. No change to the Metro scoreboard from quarter time. Still 4-2-26. East Point lead Darley 1-5-11, but have dominated the territory to start the second term, Brad.
Yeah, the ball's hardly hasn't gone inside 50 for Darley. They just need to get their hands on the footy a bit more.
So we'll get a ball in deep inside 50 for East Point, as we said, where they can try to add. They've kicked the last 4 in this match. MRO tries to use that brute strength, got the handball away, but only as far as Gardner. Clearing kick will come towards the outside, be a tough one to mark. Edwards did well to bring it to ground for the Devils initially. East Point with the numbers of the handball towards a true centre half forward position. Cairns with strength, too tall for Dodd. Turnover maybe in the corridor. East Point desperate to get some numbers across. Willems, one of them, using that bigger body to come through and hold things up. And did well not to get these direct opponent high in that tackle.
Oval, beautiful art. he's accepted that the player White it was from Darley didn't know. So free kick, Sam Young going to go to Joyce right on true centre half forward.
And he is a thumping kick of the footy, boys. We've seen him roost. This would be massive if he can get this from outside 50. the Eastern Oval between East Point and the Darley Devils, with the Kangas leading by 1 point on the Metro scoreboard as we now go around the grounds. Thanks to our good friends at Go Vita, your local health store, for an update of all games happening across this wonderful competition. Roger LeGrand.
Some very interesting scores around the traps too, Sam Young. So up at Bacchus Marsh playing North Ballarat today. Bacchus Marsh 2-5-17 trailing North Ballarat 6-7-43. Great start for North up there. Over at City Oval, Redan 3-4-22 trail Sunbury 11-4-70. So Sunbury really getting away in that game. The game of the day, outside of this one, is the Ballarat versus Sebas game. So nearing half-time there, Ballarat 9-5-59, Sebas 8-12-60. So 2 1-point results in the league at the moment, Sam, with this game and that one. 8 goals, 12 missing. And then up at CE Brown Reserve, some concerning signs for Lakers at half-time there. Melton 14-8-92 to Lakers 3-4-22. Interesting scores in the AFL too this afternoon. The Bombers have got their tails up a little bit, and not without a chance. Not without a chance on the Gold
They've
Coast.
just kicked a goal too. Essendon trail by 1 goal, 16-11-107 the Suns. Essendon 16-5, so been pretty accurate. There's still 20 minutes to go in the last quarter.
Could they?
Essendon not without a chance, boys.
There you go. So over in the Central Highlands League, so these scores are a little bit behind because their games start a little bit later than the Ballarat game. So Daylesford 24 lead Hepburn 3. Dunstown 14-point leaders over Bungaree. That's a more recent score. Gordon and Newland, we don't have any scores. Rokewood are 12-point leaders over Buninyong. That score was updated less than a minute ago. Carnham and Skipton even at 19 apiece. Learmont, who are early flag favourites, I must say, behind Dunstown, I suppose. They're going very nicely, Learmont. They're 26-point leaders over Springbank. Balan, under the guidance of Mark Williams this season, the former Hawk, they're leading Creswick 44-11. Clunes playing their first game today, having had the bye last week. They lead Beaufort 26-8, Sam Young.
Thank you very much, Roger LeGrand. And it has just come through. There's been a slight change to the score here. They've taken a point off Darley. So the Metro scoreboard now reads 6 goals, 4-40, East Point leading the Devils 5-8-38. So 2-point margin in favour of the Kangas. But I'm interested in your thoughts, Brad McGowan. Thanks to our good friends at the Sporting Globe. And who are the players in contention for the player of the day, but also the opening half of footy in general, and your observations?
Well, when I try and sort of diagnose a game, I often start with the ruck, and that's where each sort of play starts. And I thought that Tom Brown for East Point has just been fantastic in the ruck, and he's really given his midfield first use, and particularly in the first sort of half of the game, or the first half of the game so far, first quarter, they were certainly on top in the ruck and on top around the stoppages. Darley then tried a few different things. They put Edwards in the ruck, moved Javen Taverner forward, and I think that probably helped a little bit. It's interesting that Darley did drop Jackson Vella, who was a really solid-bodied sort of reserve grade ruckman. He came up and rucked last week. I reckon they probably would have been better off playing him, because they just structurally, they just don't look like they have quite enough tools forward of the ball. But they did start to get their outside run going, and that pressure from East Point has been fantastic, and I must commend their younger players for that pressure they've been putting on. It's just whether they can maintain that pressure. It's particularly in the last 10 minutes of that quarter, that pressure just started to drop off, and guys like Baker, Bewley and Hines started to get the ball on the outside, and because they could do that, they could run and then get shot passes inside 50 to leading players, as opposed to bombing it long. You talked about who's played well. Well, particularly for East Point, it's been number 8 Liam Howard, who's been constantly spare or hiding behind a goalpost or whatever he needs to do to just be able to influence that kick inside 50. So he's been really good. At the other end, Billy Myers has controlled the game at halfback for Darley. And it must be said that lots of the goals have actually been scored from stoppages inside their forward 50s. Because each team sort of has that spare defender, they're not getting so many goals from free play or general play. It's when they get the ball out of bounds inside 50, get a stoppage, even up the numbers, then they've been able to score. So it'll be interesting to see whether either coach blinks here and goes, let's stop having the spare, let's even the numbers up. I don't think that East Point would do that. I think Joe Carmody would go, well, no, we're the younger, less experienced side. I want to keep a spare defender as much as I can. And I think probably Dan Jordan will be the same for Darley. He'll go, you know what, I'm just going to back my boys to find a way to win this game.
Great stuff there, Macca. Thanks to good friends at the Sporting Globe for that update of the opening half of footy here at the Eastern Oval. We're going to take a quick break. We'll be back for a cracking second half here at the Eastern Oval. Thanks to our number one ticket holder, D2E Gyms. From Delacombe to Wendouree, you're never too far from a D2E. This is 3BA Footy Home Ground.
Start your day. Wake up with 3BA's PT.
What do you think our most iconic seasoning is?
Oh, I've got this. The stuff on top of barbecue shapes.
No, it's chicken salt, Brett. Chicken salt. It's iconic. That beloved yellow dust that's been coating chips and our fingers for almost 50 years is actually a blend of surprising ingredients.
Oh, here we go.
And there's no chicken in it whatsoever. In Australia, they have chicken salt, which is a blend of garlic powder, onion powder, salt, and MSG. So pretty much it's straight crack. I have it on potato cakes, finger licking good, dim sims. When I go overseas, I take a little bit with me.
Really?
Paul Taylor to customs. Paul Taylor to customs.
It's the Big Show with PT. Thanks to Metro. Better service, better advice, better building solutions. Weekday mornings from 6 on Ballarat's 3BA.
Go Harvey Norman 2025 TV run-out sale on now. Race in for clearance prices across the entire 2025 TV range. Big screens, king screens, all screens on sale. From OLED to mini LED, 4K and 8K with AI technology. All the big brands, LG, Samsung, Sony, Hisense, TCL and more. If it's a 2025 model, it's got to go while stocks last. Shop in store, shop online. But hurry, once we sell out, they're gone. Best brands, best range.
Go, Harvey, go!
Zambrero is turning up the feel-good with the Nourish Plus range. Fresh kale slaw, house-made guac, sesame crunch and tangy pickled onions. Layered with flavour and balance in every bite. For a limited time only. Zambrero. Feel good Mex.
Hi, I'm David Franzo, your local funeral director at Simplicity Funerals, and I'm here to help and support you during life's most difficult time. When someone you love passes, you deserve support from someone who truly cares. We believe that in life's hardest moments, simplicity brings comfort. We're here to make things easier and help you and your family feel supported every step of the way. Visit simplicityfunerals.com.au or call 5330 2255. For peace of mind, Simplicity Funerals.
Here in Ballarat, our local businesses keep the community thriving. Make your next choice a local one.
Organised Care takes a therapeutic approach to organising your home with trained professional staff specialising in decluttering, hoarding and squalor cleanups. Organised Care Ballarat, now accepting new referrals. No judgment, just support.
Ballarat Windscreens and Chip Repairs delivers quick, reliable, no-fuss windscreen repairs that keep you safely on the road. Ballarat Windscreens and Chip Repairs. Call 0411 920 379 for your on-site repair today. Support local in Ballarat. It's the simplest way to keep our community thriving.
Home. It's more than four walls. It's comfort, memories, independence. At Home Care in Ballarat, we believe everyone deserves to feel safe, supported and empowered in the place they love most, their home. Locally owned and operated by Amanda Kinnaburra, a nurse with over 20 years experience, we provide compassionate, trusted care tailored to your needs, from daily support to companionship. Contact Home Care in Ballarat today and discover the difference local care makes.
Blackout sale is now on at 40 Winks. Find comfort and support with 50% off a select range of mattresses and surround yourself in luxury with 30% off selected furniture. Seize the night. This sale is drawing to an end soon. Terms, conditions and exclusions apply. Make your way in this week. Sale ends Sunday. 40 Winks. Serious about sleep.
Visit your locally owned and operated 40 Winks store at 121 Learmonth Road, Wendouree.
Stop till we let you. Now it's back to McDonald's BFNL action. Thanks to our number one ticket holder, D2E Gym. From Delacombe to Wendouree, you're never too far from a D2E. This is 3BA Football.
Welcome back to 3BA Footy's Home Ground. Thanks to D2E Gym. From Delacombe to Wendouree, you're never too far from D2E. We'll cross down our man Sam Treasurer, who's got East Point coach Joe Carmody with him.
Yes, Joe Carmody's alongside me. Joe, that's a pretty
only one half, losing signs with some of our youngsters.
opting to play that spare in defence. How long ago was that made? When did you decide to make that move?
So it sort of originated because Luca Gu's going to hind after the ball up, and then we're able to orchestrate a +1, whether that's around the ball, and they're pushing up, one of their forwards, George, into the contest as well. So it's giving us a look at a play. Along down the line, Myers is going to mop it up. So if we can change angles and make sure we run at them and continue our pressure, we give ourselves a chance.
Thank you very much, Sam Treasure. Catching up with Joe Carmody, boundary side there for a bit of an update from the opening half of footy, boys. Where
great insight to have that coach.
The Lagoy was tagging Nick Hind, the coach of East Point, that he was going to him after a centre bounce, but we even saw him go into some centre bounces. But we've noticed that Nick Hind, he's an elite player, and he's obviously played. His ball use and his speed is what's
And I think, and when we spoke about Brad in terms of just being that little bit more advanced than perhaps other clubs in going through that process, and we've seen that today. So we've actually seen improvement from week 1 to week 3.
We have, and you said that they're a deep team as well. We saw their reserves won by 10 to 12 goals over Darley. That's unusual. Usually a two-time premiership side would have a talented reserve side, but Darley actually don't look to have that much depth because the reserve struggled. I don't know whether they've got many injuries at the moment, but certainly even if you just think about the ruck.
Really missing. Like Harley Inglis, he's climbing a mountain somewhere. Don't know where he is, but he's off doing Harley Inglis things. You got Matt Denham, who's coming off a bit of a long-term injury, still trying to get back. Probably will be more likely to feature in the back half of the season. Brady Wright, obviously VFL listed at Werribee, so he was unavailable. Mace Cousins, the VFL listed at Werribee.
You would think Braden, he's going to play most games at Werribee, you would suspect. You'd hope he plays enough to qualify for finals. That would be their goal.
So in saying that, I'm saying they got 4 of their best 22, and that's still, and as Dan Jordan's been very open about when you're speaking about Lucas Impey in the pre-game interview with us, is they don't really plan for those VFL type guys because you sort of just get access when you get access. So look, played less.
Terrific. And I think Lockie George is another, definitely a walk-up senior player, right? Yeah. But he pretty much did just walk up and start playing seniors. I think they would have loved to have gone, hang on, you probably need to get a bit of match fitness, Lockie, play in the reserves a little bit. But because they don't have that depth, they just had to put him in. Now, he's been quite good today, etc. But I think you're totally right. If you play Darley,
games, I think, for the season.
Yes.
So they had a fully healthy list to use at their arsenal. So 46-48 here at the Eastern Oval.
I guess I criticised the kick from the centre to go back out towards the boundary line. I said, what did they get out of that? Well, actually, what they did get out of that was they gave Brett Bewley more time to get forward because their forwards haven't been able to kick goals. So the midfield's had to go down there and kick the goals for them.
So around the grounds for Go Vita, Ballarat, your local health store. Bacchus Marsh trailing North Ballarat by 20 points. Sunbury, 51-point leaders over Redan. Sabas lead by 9 points over Ballarat. And Melton kicking a cricket score against Lake Wendouree. Football. Admin. His handball was smothered, went back in and got it, fumbled it, which allowed McDonald to come in. To Merritt, kicked it low towards that big tree at the Eastern Oval. It's going to be a lasso for
No.
No? It's going to be a throw.
It should have been a lasso.
Or is it inside 50?
Yeah, Lahure's going to ask the question, saying, well, did anyone touch it?
The umpire's going to come in and have a chat to the boundary umpire, it looks like, and he has changed his mind. He agreed with you, Sam, and free kick going to Darley. Ball comes back to Billy Myers, plays on, comes inboard, finds a teammate as a party, plays on, short on the right boot, finds a teammate in Cadman, Duncan, plays on. He's got nothing to kick to, so he's having to backpedal. He's caught by McDonald, but quick enough to get a kick. Comes back to Marshall now for East Point, kicks long with that left boot. 2-on-2. Myers leads in the race for the ball. Again, he's got nothing to go to up the line and dangerously goes across the ball. Wasn't holding the ball. No, right decision from the umpire. Very good umpiring. Had no prior opportunity. The supporters feel otherwise, but really good umpiring. I'll back him up on that occasion, Sam Young.
50 East Point supporters on the deck with beers in hand don't agree.
Jackson Freeman's giving it a life as Cadman takes out the ruck. Ball came out, and another stoppage.
Good umpiring.
Yeah, it was. You're right. Bewley had no option down the line, so had to turn and switch. He just didn't. Myers just didn't put enough on it. Put his team under pressure.
So Joyce ruck against Cadman. Cadman gets the points on this occasion. Jeffrey bounced off the whooping tackle, bends it around the body. Jack Jeffrey with a goal of a contender.
Another goal from forward 50 stoppage. When they're just dominating the ruck, and then they're dominating the fall of the ball inside their own forward 50, looking so dangerous.
Two kicks really in the turn for Jack Jeffries of substance, both between the big sticks. And East Point skip away to another little handy buffer. Maybe midway through this third term. And Brad McGowan for the One Life Insurance. My thoughts here with Darley being the more experienced team. They're going to come hard. East Point younger team. Do they need to get some separation on the Metro scoreboard to hang on, you feel? Or do you think the game's too well poised they can run it out?
Well, certainly, but I agree that Darley, we all know Darley's still got to come back at us, aren't they? But East Point sticking well into this game at the moment.
Cadman won the hit out for Darley in the middle of the ground. East Point tails are up. George came through, gave it back 3 fend-offs. That's got to be holding the ball, and it is. Free kick going the way of East Point. Interesting after that last goal, Mac, and I'll come back to you about it. Hind ran over to the bench to talk to Coach Dan Jordan,
his arms around, wasn't he?
And then he came back into play. He obviously had a message he wanted to get through to the bench as Kenny takes the free kick, kicks long. Into 50, big fly from Joyce. Where's the fear to Sam Young? Ball goes to Grant, comes back to McDonald. He goes onto the left boot. And guess what? He's kicked that.
Ends well in the end.
Well, Darley had the first touch in that marking contest, so it wasn't a mark. But again, East Point are winning the fall of the ball. What's happening is Darley players are often taking the back space. There's so many players there that are Lahure, Brett, etc., that are good at marking the ball, so they like to take the back space, and it means that there's space at the front for the East Point players. They keep filling that space, getting the fall of the ball, and getting shots on goal as a result.
And like Jeremy Cameron last night, most of their goals have been kicked from snaps today. Welcome to the circus. This is incredible to watch.
Great call by you, Roger LeGrand. As we ticking the time on in this third term, the Metro scoreboard has East Point 9-6-60, leading Darley 6-10-46.
There's that separation you were asking about. Is it enough?
We'll get back underway here, red time in the third term. Couple on the road, East Point. Brown against Cadman. Big knock down there by Brown. Coming off the wing. Oh! Edwards, and he was going hanging. Down. Behind, long kick inside, forward 50 for Darley. Almost the mark taken in there. by Tanner. Alive and well, still inside 54. The Devils, McDonald, the last goal kicker, got it away. Chain of hand passes will work out. Right foot kick down the line by East Point. Big fly from Lahoure, could take the mark. Spilled his bundle, might open the door for the Crummers. In the end, a stoppage result, a breather for players, umpires and commentators.
Sam, I was thinking an MRO might have a visit to the MRO.
Beautiful sunshine, the shadows creep across to cover this wonderful surface. One of the best places in footy, not just in Ballarat, but in
fantastic
the region.
field, fantastic ground.
The crowd's up and about.
Rodomonis is in a little bit of strife here.
He's still down there.
Yeah, he's struggling to get up. The trainers are coming out now, and that is definitely one to keep an eye on for very obvious reasons. And he's
a lower leg injury. Look like left leg. Can't put weight on it.
He's struggling to put weight on it. He's coming off the ground now, assisted by two trainers.
Not what they need. They've already
that
lost
is not what
hands.
they need at all. Of course, having to battle Darley's midfield without MRO, getting those clearances are going to be tough.
Absolutely, he's been massive. As we go around the grounds, thanks to Go Vita, your local health store. Melton 17-17, 119. Lake Wendouree 3-4-22.
And just in the AFL, the Gold Coast Suns did end up winning that game 7-17, 119 to Essendon 17-8, 110. So 9-point winners, the Suns.
So that's 9-17-71, lead Ballarat 9-7-61. As we're back with the action here, Darley go forward with a long kick to full forward. The Johnson one gets over his head. The mark is taken.
He's about the third or fourth back then.
He got it. I thought he stood no chance being behind the back, but he's just got good spring in his steps as Will Johnson, and even though it was, as you said, 3 or 4 back in the marking contest, he just plucked it out of the air.
And no coincidence that or obvious coincidence really, that MRO goes out, Bewley comes charging out of the middle and finds Johnson.
A couple of steps around the body, he pops and between the big sticks, and they get that response to the Devils. They move to 7 goals, 10-52 on the Metro scoreboard, East Point 9-6-60.
So we've had one stoppage without MRO in there, and it didn't look good. East Point struggled.
That sweeper position there to start this.
So Kenny Dodd, the sweeper as Sam Young just called with merit.
Bewley Hinden has a party for Darley.
So 8 points the margin in favour of East Point. Brown dominated the ruck today, and he hit it to himself, barged through and said, "Thank you very much." And then he goes the top, goes long towards
60
the top
metres.
square. Good spoil from Billy Myers. Jeez. Put that one on the highlights reel, Sam Young. 3 for it behind. East Point 9-7-61. Darley 7-2-52.
I don't like to fly off the handle, gents, but I reckon if you kicked that, that would have been probably the greatest goal I've ever seen at local footy level.
He did kick it from inside the centre square, and it ended up going to the goal square. I called 60. It was more like 70 metres in the end.
And he got all the barrel. He got all the and some. Myers for double. They do like a shift to the fence, the Devils. Be patient. High ball down the line. Should have been intercepted, wasn't. Slipped through the grass there, Goya. And in the end, very close to the line. Boundary ump will leave for the central umpire to say, "I will ball it up."
Macca, the other option for East Point would be potentially Kelly, who obviously was recruited the club as a midfielder from Canberra.
And been playing mainly as a forward today. Bigger, stronger body, similar to MRO. So, that might be something they look to at three-quarter time.
Despite Brown getting that territory, Jack Bewley got the hands free, found his target there, and Freeman spun Somehow perfect between him and the line. A big man again. His foot skills today has been awesome.
Is he a left footer?
He is, Joyce. So he can open this up a little bit, Macca.
It's his ideal spot for him, really.
Don't moz him.
So, JJ. Left foot kick. I'll let the crowd do the work. He's got it! Don't you worry about that! And the response comes from the Kangas.
The boys on the deck are up and about, as you said.
I'll be going to the deck and they win this, I'll tell you that.
Yeah, this really, there is an upset on the cards here. I mean, we still know that Darley could flick the switch and kick goals in a rush, but it's been a good fight back by East Point in this quarter. Darley have had the ascendancy. East Point have been able to work their way back into it.
I'll tell you what, Macca, I don't envy your job with the Sporting Globe player of the day. That's going to be a very tough decision. You might need an hour or so after the game to make up your mind, I reckon.
Yeah, there's been some very good players in this game.
So, closing stages of the third quarter in a super game here at the Eastern Oval on 3BA footy for D2E Gyms. Cadman won the hit out for Darley. Went in the direction of as a party, long towards the goal square. Mark not able to take it. There's a foot of the ball, which Younger snapped it over, bounces towards the goal.
Kicked it.
Younger has kicked it for Darley. They've got one against the run of play. They go to 8 goals, 10-58. East Point 10-7-67 on the Metro scoreboard, nearly 28 minutes gone.
Just the difference was that Darley actually won a hit out, wasn't it? Cadman was able to win the hit out and get it forward to his inside mids. Darley clearly got a better inside mid crew. They just haven't been able to get hold of the ball, particularly in that first possession stakes from the ruckman. So well done to Cadman.
And if you like a different ball game and it's like 15, 16 points, East Point going to major break, that separation, single digits, game on. Feels like Darley can come home strong, especially with potentially East Point 2 down on the bench with no cans, no MRO. Back on the way, Cadman again got access to the footy and won it down. Merritt lets it between his grass, thrown forward by Darley. Umpire wave play on, so there must have been bumped in the tackle. The kick just went the required journey. Q will come away with it and spread it wide on the East Ham towards the broadcast side to find Marshall. He's done some good things. Very good by foot. We go towards full back. Finds Glenn Wright McQuine, who in game 3 continues to get better and better as each quarter goes on.
Trying to soak up.
The kick goal is awful. Straight to Younger, coach killer. If you've ever seen one, you can't believe it. And Darley get 2 in a row and move to 1964 on the Metro scoreboard.
And the shortest man on the ground, Younger, is in terms of intercept as well, and he was able to get that.
Well, look, East Point have hardly switched all day. They've just gone down the line. They've played safe, but clearly there's a couple of minutes to go. The message has gone around to say, hey, try and take some sting out of the game. Kick and mark if you can. That's what they tried to do, but because they hadn't really done much practice at it, they just weren't that well organised. And Younger, as you said, was able to just chip in. He marked the ball as he was running into the goal square, kicked it from a metre out.
2 in 2 minutes for the young kid. His confidence will be flying.
He's done some nice things this afternoon. Reece Younger, I'm sure we'll hear more about him. Back underway in the middle. Brown won the hit out. East Point trying to get numbers around the footy. Centre wing. Names later, and Brett a bit of a back and forth behind play. Kick comes back Hind, who's been very quiet. Got paid the mark. I don't necessarily agree. I thought he dropped it, Brad McGowan.
Yeah, it was one that was always going to mark it, so the umpire blew it before it actually marked it.
Myers is onto it here. He ran past and got a short pass. Kicked it up long. Strong mark overhead taken by Tanner, the young man. Goes in short to the hit-up lead, looking for as a party, and he's got it.
Geez, East Point have really let things slip. This could be the 3rd goal in 3 minutes.
It's Joel Cadman, actually, and he's marked Sam Young around 25 metres from goal.
And he's a beautiful kick at the footy as well. He directly in front to put Darley in front for the first time in a long time. If he can convert from here, 25 metres out, as you said, Brad McGowan, for 3 in 3 minutes. They did it last week.
He's got it.
And they've done it this week. They're still back the league here at the East.
really quickly. But East Point just don't have the experience at the moment to save the game. They look like they're so much better when they're just going all out attack. That has worked for them up to this point, but it gets delayed in the quarters and they keep trying to save it. That's not working for them. There's clearly some work to be done there at training.
Around the grounds, thanks to Go Vita Ballarat, your local health store. We are North Ballarat still leading Bacchus Marsh by 17 points at Mattingly Park. Play back underway here for D2E Gyms. Canny has the ball to Merritt. Gave it off to Dodd. Goes forward with that left kick in the direction of Kelly. Was held. Umpire said didn't see it play out. Myers goes in. Was he met high? Umpire said yes. It's going to be a free kick going the way of Darley. Right on the defensive 50. Billy Myers knows the situation. Knows it's nearly 32 minutes. And true to its word, the siren rings to end the third quarter here at the Eastern Oval, and the Metro scoreboard reads East Point 10-7-67 to Darley 10-10-70. So it was a 5-goal quarter to Darley, a 4-goal quarter to East Point. We're going to take a break and come back with Brad McGowan's wrap-up of the third quarter on 3BA Footy Zone Ground.
Have you got something to buy, swap or sell? Or maybe you have a garage sale coming up? View them all or add your own by clicking on local at 3ba.com.au. You can also be part of Buy, Swap and Sell Saturday mornings from 7:30 with Frank Clark on your live and local station. 3BA FM 102.3.
Zambrero is turning up the feel-good with their new Nourish Plus Bowl and Burrito. Built with nourishing ingredients like fresh kale and cabbage slaw, house-made guac, spiced sesame crunch, and tangy pickled onions. Layered with flavour, texture and balance in every bite. Looks great and tastes even better. It's sure to be your new go-to for a limited time only. Zambrero, feel good next.
Amart Ballarat has moved. Come and visit our brand new store. Plus, for a limited time only, get up to 50% off a huge range of furniture. Don't wait. Shop the sale at Amart Ballarat today. 121 Learmont Road.
Rapid Tree Solutions is celebrating 15 years of servicing Ballarat this May. Family owned and proudly local, the team specialises in tree pruning, removal, stump grinding, branch chipping and expert tree climbing. Qualified, knowledgeable and always on time, Rapid Tree Solutions is backed by 5-star reviews and offers electronic reminders for every quote and booking. Call 0409005227 for a free no obligation quote. Call Rapid Tree Solutions today.
Discover Ballarat Steiner School and Kindergarten at the Open Day and Autumn Fair. See firsthand a technology-free education that's rigorous, academic and artistic. Learn about the new Bush Kinder and Prep program. Tour the beautiful campus, view student work and meet the head of school. Join the Open Day and Autumn Fair on Sunday, April 26 with coffee and cake, face painting, pony rides, games and more. Ballarat Steiner School and Kindergarten, where learning comes to life.
Save $5 every month when you bundle your mobile and internet with Aussie Broadband. Think of it as a little extra coffee money. Yep, Aussie Broadband have got you covered with great coverage. Bundle and save at aussiebroadband.com.au. Discount limits and T's and C's apply.
Here in Ballarat, our local businesses keep the community thriving. Make your next choice a local one.
Organised Care takes a therapeutic approach to organising your home with trained professional staff specialising in decluttering, hoarding and squalor cleanups. Organised Care Ballarat, now accepting new referrals. No judgment, just support.
Ballarat Windscreens and Chip Repairs delivers quick, reliable, no-fuss windscreen repairs that keep you safely on the road. Ballarat Windscreens and Chip Repairs. Call 0411 920 379 for your on-site repair today.
Support local in Ballarat. It's the simplest way to keep our community thriving.
Harvey Norman Ballarat, your local destination for mobile phone and computer accessories. Grab a quality Signet 3-in-1 magnetic wireless charger stand for just $143. Wirelessly charge your phone, AirPods and Apple Watch all at the same time. Head in store now. Harvey Norman Ballarat, corner of Gillies and Howard Street.
Ballarat's 3BA, covering the McDonald's Ballarat Football Netball League. Live.
Kick towards half forward, it's good. Taken by Jeffrey. Tucked up against the boundary. There are skinny pockets here at the Eastern Oval though. So it's not as hard as a kick as compared to some other grounds. And Jeffrey unloads and he pops it between the big sticks. And there's your bang for your buck. Joyce are against Cadman. Cadman gets the points on this occasion. Jeffrey bounces off the whooping tackle, bends it around the body. Jack Jeffrey with a goal at 8 contender. Yes, welcome back to 3BA Footy's Home Ground. Thanks to D2E Gym. From Delacombe to Wendouree, you're never too far from a D2E. And we're here for another grandstand finish on 3BA Footy's Home Ground as we go to our man Brad McGowan, thanks to One Life Insurance for his summation of 3 quarters of entertaining action.
In that third quarter there, I was just so impressed with East Point. I thought that they did still continue to have ruck dominance by Tom Brown, and their on-ballers got on top. And most pleasingly, when they went inside 50, they realised that if they just bombed it long, that Billy Myers is going to keep marking it. Now, they did bomb it to him a few times, but more often than not, they went wide. Their kicks, instead of kicking into the corridor, they went wide, in some cases very wide, and their players were marking the ball near the boundary. But at least it meant that Darley weren't able to take marks. Just then, all of a sudden, MRO, the dominant midfielder for East Point, went off injured, and that allowed Darley to get on top around the stoppages. They got the ball inside 50, and they can be so dangerous to be able to go bang, 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 3 quick goals. So that's about where the game sits.
Sam Young, the goal kickers so far this afternoon.
Yeah, for Darley, that was Tuta Younger, of course, coming those final couple of minutes of that term. Tuta Bewley, singles to Hind, Joel Cadman, Lockie George, Javen Tanner, Will Johnson, and Grant Hatcher. Whilst for East Point, 3 to Jared Joyce leads, all comers on ground. Slater and Jeffrey have 2 apiece. Hiscock, Brown, and Sam McDonald are the goal kickers there. As our man Sam Treasure was listening to Joe Carmody's 3-quarter time address, and what did Carmo have to say, Sammy?
Yeah, well, I'll just start by East Point are going to be down a few soldiers in this last quarter, just on that last marking contest on the siren. It looks like Fraser Kelly just landed awkwardly, possibly an ankle. He crouched a lot during the huddle in the aid of the trainer. And for anyone who's just joined us in the last hour or so, Jesse Cairns did go down with a calf as well, so he is out. But yeah, Joe Carmody, he said that his boys at East Point left a few goals out there. They had the inside 50s count. He mentioned the tackling effort was good, but too many direct turners as well. He mentioned Billy Myers' intercepting influence and what he's done this game. Both Joyce brothers are going to be up forward this quarter, and he finished with a rev up, reminding his boys that this would be one of the best wins in recent time, which by golly it would be, because, well, Darley, they've won 21 on the trot.
And Sammy, MRO look to be back out there.
By 4 points on the Metro scoreboard. But this game's had many twists and turns throughout the afternoon as Brown's kick was partially smothered. Bewley, hand pass was too hot for his intended teammate. Edwards, did he get in the back? Umpire said no. Bewley went back and got his own ball, really, off the white. Kick off the outside the left boot. Now, did Azapari touch it? He did not. So you know what that means? Lasso. Free kick got away of East Point on the broadcast side centre wing.
And it's going to be Sam Q to take the free kick. East Point trail by 4 points. He goes in short and finds Merritt. He goes in short again, finds and immediately indicates he's going to go back and have a shot.
Well, he's a left footer, but that's another example of the East Point ball movement. Just staying wide. Darley give you that one out wide. They all want to intercept marks. They're in the corridor. East Point said, we'll just take what you give us, and they've found a left footer in a pretty shallow pocket. He could kick this.
Jesse Marshall came across from Buninyong in the Central Highlands in the off-season and certainly shown he's capable at this level. He comes in, a crucial kick. He swings around that left boot. It's going to go a little bit too far. Ball spills to ground. The umpire's going to pay a mark in the end, I think. Anyway, it's coming the way of Darley to that man, Myers, who plays on quickly out of full back.
Big fist by Q was sent it back inside 50 for the moment. Darley with numbers. Hooray, it's going to be quick and was. Got it away just in time. Hand pass over the top to find its way to Baker for the Devils. He left it behind as well. Q goes to the ground. They caught some friendly fire. One across the chops. He went to the ground clutching his head. Les ends up in a stoppage and Q's back on his feet for the moment. Attacking side centre wing on the broadcast side. East Point trial by 4 points on the Metro scoreboard. Brown to do battle in the ruck here against Cadman again. Umpire clears a bit of space and waits for the ruckman to come in and jostle. Big tap by Brown. Sweeping this occasion was Edwards for Darley. Chain hand pass. Went to Cadman from stationary. He left it behind. Merritt bumps it inside 50. Joyce got 2 to beat. Almost brought it down. Darley with numbers will sweep across the fence. 50 to Brett. Spearing pass out back. It's got to be pinpoint perfect. It's not. The ball comes back inside 50. MRO comes And umpire says contact below the knees and free kick to Rotoma Onus.
Whoever it is down and out. He's had MRO charge over the top of him, two knees into his kidneys. He did go harder and lower, and it did make MRO go flying over the top. I'm not sure he's got that decision right. I'm not sure I'd do it.
It's one of those line balls, and you're right, no one would do it in their right line.
I can understand why he did pay it, but I don't think it's the right free kick. You can't. If football's going to turn into a game where Duncan Cadman's got his head over the ball and gone low to pick it up, and because he's gone low to pick it up, and one of my owners is coming after him and got the free kick, I don't see how that's fair.
Yeah, well, it's that rule from Lindsay Thomas from North Melbourne years ago when he broke an opponent's leg, but it was a different. Yeah, Rowan's. It was a different situation in this case.
So Rotoma Onus will be just outside 50. I think with that crook leg, he probably doesn't have the distance from here, so he might just set it up to the top of the square. Looks for a leading tuck. In the end, the kick's perfect, and the umpire's paid it.
What's he paid a push or something? Paid a push.
Yeah,
it's going to go the way of East Point.
I thought initially he might have paid the mark, said Braden Joyce, but yep, you said push, and shot on goal coming up.
It's another example, though, of East Point kicking it off the line. Instead of kicking it down the corridor where all the Darley players were, they had a player out on the far side.
So brother Jared's kicked 3 for his first goal in senior footy, and put it back in front. He's gone near side, minus score. 10 goals, 7-6.
From fullback, club side of the Eastern Oval pack. Ball was knocked on the direction of Kenny, who kicked it off the ground. Picked up there by As a Party. Was there a leg on the East Point play? Umpire said yes. Advantage called. It's Merritt long towards the goal square. One out choice.
He's played on.
Plays on and misses.
Did he sneak it in?
He might have snuck it in. Look at the goal, but got it.
Did.
There, Dan Young's picked himself up off the floor.
I was like,
he'd missed it.
JJ, what are you doing? He stuck it in. That's all ends well for East Point back in front.
4 goals to Jared Joyce for East Point. Gosh, we are a long way from it. If you're listening in the car or at home or wherever you're listening, we're down the opposite end of that goal.
Couldn't be further, we tried.
It looked off the boot that he'd missed it from very close range, but it must have just snuck behind the post. Anyway, the Metro scoreboard, Brett McGowan, East Point 11-7-73, Darley 10-10-70.
I must say, Darley are one of the most aggressive teams to bring the ball out of the back line I have seen. They kick low and hard every time, often to players that are outnumbered, and it often gives the opposition a chance. That's what happened then. They got it back inside 50 and got an easy goal.
We'll try to get our man Sam Treasurer, who's going to update Duncan Cadman, who was left very lick at his wounds after running to Rotoma Onus. Bewley with the clearance. We'll send it towards full forward for the instant response. Johnson has Howard getting back now for East Point to compete with. Howard the high up under a kick. Now this is going to be a tough one to mark. Edwards arrives late, brings it to the ground. Q roped it nicely. But
he's gone.
And he's gone. Half a second cost him.
But he grabbed the ball and then spun out of a tackle towards the boundary line. That's going to be viewed as prior opportunity. Unfortunately, he didn't realise that there was a tackler on the other side.
Cadman will play on, head for home, and put Darley. No, I was going to say back in front, just the wrong side of the post.
It looked like it was a goal off the boot, didn't it?
Yeah, and the goal umpire was very happy with it. Then at the final moment, wrong side of the post, minus score to Devils.
We're not proving good judges of whether it's a goal or not at the moment.
No, we're not.
Giving up on that.
As Q brings the ball back into play to Jackson Merritt. Goes in short, so East Point just slowing play down here. Just trying to regain ascendancy. They've been so good for much of the afternoon. The kick goes long in the direction of Joyce. Gosh, that's a strong mark.
He's so tall.
Jumper, isn't he?
Yeah, and his arms, when he stretches, he's just so hard to beat.
Jared Joyce kicks up the line. Rotoma Onus, did he mark it before the line? The boundary umpire is going to signal.
Surely first touch was inbound. Second touch, he was nearly over the fence.
I think, the boundary umpire looks a bit uncertain here. The field umpire is going to come in and have a chat.
It's out of bounds.
It has to be out of bounds. Yeah, I think the field umpire is saying what you said, Brad, and that the first grab is before the line, the second grab was out of the line. We don't have the benefit of the arc here yet. Correct decision in the end. We got it right. It's going to be a boundary throw in front of the scoreboard here at the Eastern Oval. We've played 7 minutes, and it's East Point 11-7-73, leading Darley by 2 points. 10-11-71. Here's Sam Young.
Back on the way here. Brown goes whack, just gains some territory, and retirement owners will get the clearance. Right foot kicks a piercing ball inside 50 in the direction of Joyce. Hits the turf, Myers mops up, off there to Bewley. He'll flip it wide by hand as well. And in the end, Edwards will just spear it down the line. Howard did well in the wrestle, got his direct opponent, couldn't complete the mark though. Handball inside was just rushed forward by Hind with the little fist. Underground hand pass, clever by Bewley to gain territory. Marshall gets there first, but he lets slip, and George come through. He left the footy behind though. Fraser will clear, high ball to centre wing, and Brown was called into it nicely by his teammate to take the mark.
It's one of those ones where Brown, the ruckman, actually was lazy, didn't push back. The ball came out to him.
Beautiful long kick from Tom Brown up to half forward, but umpires found a free kick for block. It's going to go the way of Geordie Slater, and he instantly points at the goals and says, I'm going to have a crack at this. Certainly East Point have seen the benefit of a couple of decisions, 50-50 ones, I would argue, Brad McGowan, that have gone their way.
Well, backlines practice that, 2-on-1. One player hold your opponent down, other player jump over the top.
And 50-metre penalty! I don't know if it was for a player in the protected zone or for anything else.
It might have been a hold off the ball, I think. Looks like it's going against Matthew Brett.
It's going to go...
He's the one with his arms out, not quite sure. I think
did he move off the stand? It was hard to get a judge off. We were just waiting to call Slater's shot on goal. He gets taken to the goal line. Geordie Slater comes in, kicks his third, and East Point out to 12 goals, 7-79 with Metro scoreboard. They're 8-point leaders over Darley, 10-11-71.
East Point just keep finding a way to score. Darley, you still feel like they've got another run or two left in them, but they can't afford to give away easy goals like that.
Sam Choser, looks like Duncan Cadman's ready to check back in.
Yeah, it does. It just looks like he got fairly winded in that collision before, but looks like he's about to check back in.
He had a wrecking ball come through him, so he's done well to stand up.
I thought Darley were quite good in the lead up to that play. Hind and Bewley continue to just hit the ball forward, handball it forward. They knew that they had the better legs on the outside, just overran the ball in the end, and that allowed then East Point, who had numbers behind the ball because they couldn't run with them, it sort of worked out fortuitously for them.
8 points the margin in favour of East Point. Ball comes down to Hind. Handball goes back to Tanner. Goes back in again, tries to knock it in the Darley direction. Edwards is in there. Hind was the ball kicked out of his hand. Umpire said no. Ball comes out in the direction of Hiscock. Fumbled the footy, which allowed Darley to get back, and they're able to clean up through Luther Baker now. He goes onto that left boot in the direction of Azapati. Takes a strong mark. This is Andrew Azapati. Play on quickly. Was he tackled high? Umpire said no. Liam Howard goes in for East Point. Handballs over to Q. Q goes onto his right boot. Kick goes over the head of Edwards. Clever knock on from Dodd in the direction of Marshall. Player from Darley behind. Down behind play. Grant picked up cleanly, handballed over Lucas.
And Lucas will try to exit, has to steady, shows some composure for Hans Willems, who gone to half back today, the vice captain. He's been excellent. High ball down the line. Big wrestle, ball to turf. Umpire sees it's a hold. Be free kicked away of Darley. Baker trying to get himself off the ground as he was experiencing almost a full body cramp.
Yeah, and you can see Darley really trying to move it quickly, as you can hear in Roger Legrand's voice.
Brett, the full forward, Cadman! Joel Cadman flies and takes the grab. He'll lie up at 35 on a 45-degree angle.
Every time Darley get it, they're trying to hit the ball to the outside. They're trying to run. East Point look tired. You can see plenty of players with hands on heads. Darley still probably have, or still in the box seat here, I reckon, if they can put this one through.
I challenge any listener at home to find a game that has more ebbs and flows than this one. The best game in local footy going around, live on 3BA Footy's home ground, as Joe game went.
Yeah, not a lot of noise around the ground. There may not be quite as many Darley supporters here. There's certainly a lot more East Point supporters, obviously being the East home game. But East Point do look tired. All right, Darley look like they have the run, but East Point still lead by that 2 points.
The scoreboard reads 12-7, 79 East Point. Darley 11-11, 77. We'll get an update thanks to Go Vita Ballarat, your local health store from around the grounds from Sam Young. He can give us a couple of... He's been wonderful this afternoon again, Jared Joyce. He has 4 goals. Play back underway. Duncan Cadman in the ruck for Darley. Darley appealed for the free kick. Didn't get it. Can he? Caught holding the ball. Didn't dispose correctly. It'll be that man, Duncan Cadman, to take the free kick. His kick is a poor one, and it puts Gardner under pressure. He's up to the task, though. Handball's over.
Johnson's by himself.
Bewley lobbed towards the goal square, towards that man, Johnson. And drop what he should have taken. McDonald gets back to clean up. Handball missed the target. As a party, snap over the shoulder. Fraser able to thump it through. It's behind to Darley. They go to 11-12, 78. East Point 12-7, 79 on that Metro scoreboard.
Let's almost get the trucky time here. Grab again. Get George in the middle. That's what they did to close the game last week. Need a bigger body around the midfield as Kepler Jones go long towards centre wing. Players all went down, tangle legs, out of bounds.
Good spoil by Lahure, out of bounds. Darley with all the run here.
1 point ball game.
Versus Cadman, I think it'll be more of a in there. I'd be nervous that the Darley players are going to get on the move through this stoppage.
Joyce with the knockdown. Teammate couldn't get Boots' ball, and Merritt got back to Joyce. He's going to send that one out in the full, you feel, although just wedged inside, the ball stayed alive remarkably. Just kept it moving forward for East Point. It was important to get hands sorted initially to stop the Lasso free kick, and then keep it alive was even more important. They gained territory. Take the side on the outside.
Rodimer Onus has been on the bench for some time as well.
Right, so he's not quite right.
Can we see the upset of the season? Probably the biggest upset of a number of seasons, given the way East Point have started the year. They lead by 1 point. We're right on centre wing, Bowls Club side of the ground. Darley won the clearance through Bewley. Left boot kick. Lucas is in front. Able to spoil this. Johnson. Ball spills to ground. Bensley. Was he tackled? Barely. Umpire says play on. He'll come in and ball the ball up. I wasn't sure.
Scores are level at the Eastern Oval. It's 11 goals 13, 79 Darley. East Point 12 goals 7, 79. Sam Q will bring us back underway from the full back position for the Kangas.
Two amazing things there. Brett Bewley kicked it and missed. Second thing is he actually does have a right foot.
Q plays on from fullback, kicks out towards that big tree at the Eastern Oval. Big fly coming from Jared Joyce. And he manages to touch the ball to great effect, actually, because it would have been a lasso free kick to Darley and forces a stoppage. It'll be a boundary throw in. The scores are level here at the Eastern Oval, thanks to D2E Gyms.
Rodimer Onus back in as well.
Ball comes back into play. Duncan Cadman won the hit out. Didn't really go to advantage. Ball spills to ground. It's going to be another ball up right on the corner.
Myers.
take away that
around the ground scores thanks to Go Vita shortly as we get into the dying embers of a number of games across the Ballarat Football Netball League. 26 now, 27 minutes gone in this one at the Eastern Oval. The Devils win their second game this year as Matomo's to hand pass Miss Fraser. Comes through was Joyce. He's caught the tackle. Ball up result.
To Go Vita, Ballarat, your local health store, North Ballarat have defeated Britain. They lead 92-77. Melton 166. First Lake Wendouree 24.
Bad Point will go forward. Slater caught behind this time against Brett. Been a fascinating duel. And in the end, we'll get a stoppage at half forward for the Kangas. 13-7-85 on the Metro scoreboard. They trailed Darley 15-16, 106.
We said pre-game, Brad McGowan, that if East Point could keep it within 40 points, it'd be a good result.
Yep.
Well, you can certainly say they've done that and more as Brown wins the hit out.
So
Brody Willems, elevated to the leadership group for East Point this year. He's had a solid afternoon at the Eastern Oval. Kicks off almost a step in the end, long towards the goal square, no mark taken. Myers off the ground. McDonald leads in the race of the ball for East Point. Very wisely kicks in short. Joyce could have been taken high. Umpire said no. Cadman went in. George went in for Darley. He picked it up, handballed over to Azapati, streaming through the middle of the ground. He's got time and space on his hands, Sam Young.
3 bounces for Azapati towards full forward. Hind in a one-on-one. Harold has the size advantage. In the end, he gets over the back and out of bounds. Deep inside forward 50. A really good hit
though against Sunbury. Darley have only just managed to overcome.
Kings of red time are the reigning premiers. They'll make it 22 in a row if they're victorious this afternoon in the Ballarat Football Netball League. That is unheard of in the modern generation. So considering how tight the rest of the competition has been traditionally, how good they really are when they get this all said and done. He's had so many. His kick invites Fraser, and he's 75 from goal. Will play on. Look to go towards Biggie Newen. And he'll get Biggie Newen! Well called, thanks to One Life Insurance there.
That in danger. Stevens broke the tackle of Joel Cadman and sent them all into a tackle of one-on-one. Scanlon, Cousins, bouncy ball is enough. Some separation, Sunbury.
She'll be the recipient of the free kick. Probably should have been called out of bounds because he came in and stepped out, but the umpire called play on. Oh! Back from Granger Barras. What a mark!
Yeah, straight away by Joyce. Got moved the ball right to the line. Off there goes Brown. That's soccer skills. The opening goal of the game will go the way of the Kangas and will go away their sharpshooter and Jacob Brown.
VM Polsky grabbed it out of the ruck. Somehow got boot to ball. Bewley ran away, went long and forward in the Johnson direction. Got it! Back for Sunbury if he can restore the lead and kick this all-important goal. Time on. Johnson, goal! Darley in front! Oh, please, can you believe it?